An artist training like an athlete. Arian Foster once did an interview on Joe Rogan's podcast. In the NFL, Arian was a well-esteemed running back, a great professional in terms of his sport. In the interview, although he seemed like he enjoyed his career, he also seemed a bit jaded. Arian talked about the toll his body took being in the league, how his collarbone was loose, he had multiple concussions, routinely felt pain in his joints, etc. Overall, his career seemed very dark, a different side to the NFL that you don't often hear. He went on further, talking about how he had no clue what the concussions would do to his brain. When he was coming up in the game, a lot of his trainers would just tell him to walk it off. They called getting brutally hit on the head just a kink. Well, there was a Will Smith movie that came out a while back bringing awareness to getting hit on the head for football players, the damage it could create over time. The movie brought awareness to CTE. Overall, Arian seemed to have a love-hate relationship with his career. He even went on to say that he would not want his kids playing football. When Arian was asked if he would play football again knowing all he knows now, Arian confidently said, no. When asked what he would do knowing all he knows now, he said he would become an artist or scientist. I thought that was an incredibly unique response. Here's a former professional running back, and a very good one at that, saying he would become an artist or scientist? He didn't even mention another sport like basketball or track. He talked about a different field entirely. Why? Well, I'm no mind reader, but here's my opinion. With artistry and the field of science, it's in the domain of knowledge. Knowledge can always compound. Unfortunately, your body must follow the rules of gravity. I believe having an athlete's mindset regarding art and science will give you a competitive advantage. Because anytime we're delving into the world of knowledge, we can easily become slackers. I think I'm doing a good job because I feel like it. Today, I'm not going to show up because I don't feel inspired. Let me go sloppy on these next few reps. No one will know. All blurry acts of behavior. That's not how a top-tier athlete performs. Fantasy. You feel energized, then get to work. Reality. You get to work, then feel energized. By training like an athlete, we bring a razor-sharp discipline into the world of knowledge, into the world of the mind. Communication skills is not just an investment to your present life. It's also an investment to your future. But surprisingly, it's also an investment to your past. My past? What are you talking about? You heard me correctly. By building communication skills, you can transport back to the past and change perceptions regarding certain behaviors. You are not what happened to you. You are what you remembered of what happened to you. Words not only allow us to communicate with one another, words allow us to communicate with ourselves. A lot of these stories that you're currently reading are moments from my past, experiences that I went through. And once I put it into words, I can interpret a meaning from it. That's what I share. Then, by reading my experiences and insights generated, you view it from the lens of your life. That's what all art comes down to. This is also why two people can have two completely different interpretations of what art is. This is also why I rarely listen to movie critics. Movie critics are perceiving art from their experiences, not mine. Arian Foster brought up another brilliant point in his talk. He brought up how many NFL players are getting into the league early on in their lives, before they really had a chance to create their identity. So they're not too aware of what they want or do not want. This is another insight into how an artist thinks. Because for all artists and scientists, there's a certain period required to create the identity and understand the identity to see where someone stands. The thing is, it's never too late for Arian. he can still become a scientist or artist. I don't know much about him or what he does, but anytime we're stretching into the world of knowledge, creativity, and the mind, it's a game of knowing we can improve for life. Add in the discipline of an athlete to the blurry field of knowledge. Now we no longer show up when we feel like it. We show up because that's the only life we know. A trained act has now become instinct. Beautiful.